Oh, not so hard. Oh, hello, and welcome to Stooges Talk Live. We are back with an impromptu Thursday night Stooge Talk, and welcome with one third less the entertainment since Curly G is not here. I'm Andy P. So let's start with hello. Hi, everybody. Wow, look. All the regulars are here. Ron and JD and Jessica and Adam, Emily, Matt, Sue. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Stooges Talk Live. It's Thursday night. I am in New York. I'm away from Curly G. Cricky D's in Abu Dhabi, so we won't be seeing him for a while. But it's just me. I haven't made it home. Everybody's been so amazing, sending love. As you guys see, my mom, Barbara, she's recovering. We had a really scary surgery, and she came out of it well. And we popped the Three Stooges hat on and posted it. And you guys have been absolutely amazing, supporting me and my mom. And even Brad, who was out sick for a little bit, who's feeling so much better. And if we knew how to work this internet better, we'd be split screening right now. So he is going to be jumping in on the comments. So look for Curly G, the grandson of Curly Howard of the Three Stooges, commenting with you guys if he knows how to read what you guys are saying. And I am Andy P, and welcome. Before we get going, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. All that stuff you do helps support the channel, brings it to more Stooge fans, helps us provide more content. Thank you guys so much for joining. I am so happy to be here. Thank you, Steve. I love watching it. I love doing it. You know, I got a message earlier to Plush World. I thought Curly said, Mo Larry Cheese. Mo Larry Cheese. Thank you so much. Hugs to your mom. Oh, my God. Whitaker Leather. Thank you so much. I wanted her to make an appearance tonight. And what's funny about my mother is, thank you, Joy, is she's not really a Stooge fan, but it was her dad, my grandfather, who got me into the Three Stooges. And she would always just roll her eyes and kind of make a face about the Three Stooges. And as she was in the hospital waiting for her operation, she was there for a couple of days. She called me up. She goes, Andy, I was watching the Three Stooges. And I think it's because we're doing this. And the morning of the operation, I flew in. And Melissa, thank you for asking. She's well. She's back home. And she was watching the Stooges the morning of her operation. It's just like, it makes me laugh so much. And she's sleeping right now. Otherwise, she'd be joining us in the comments. But she's so grateful for all the love that you guys have sent. I can't thank you enough so much, guys. What a wonderful Stooge community we have. I absolutely adore you guys. And I got a message earlier today on Instagram, and I've been getting a lot of messages. Obviously, a lot of well-being messages to my mom. Brad's been getting a lot because he was sick, and he's been getting a lot. And oh, Jimmy, I'm so happy your mom's okay. Thank you so much. You guys are absolutely amazing. As you know, this support, we keep throwing back into this channel. We want to bring you guys so much Stooge stuff. We have so much we're working on. But somebody wrote me earlier today, and he says, hey, guys, you know, your videos really helped me get through some tough times. I hope you go live tonight. And that was like, and I had been thinking about can I figure it out? Can I do this? What can I do? I was down visiting my mom. She's an hour away or so. And I said, I got to do something. And there's a lot of Stooge stuff going on. And I was like, I just gotta make this happen. And I thought, I was like, it's healing for me too. And I know it's healing for Brad too. And when Chris joins us, it's definitely healing for him too. So anyway, thank you so much. So let's get started. Ron's Vintage Electronics. Thank you. FBI. No, IB Curly. Glad your mom is okay. Thank you so much. So this is it, guys. You know, let's heal with the Stooges today. Curly's grandson's on. Everybody, Curly G, the grandson of Curly Howard of the Three Stooges. And just to not confuse everybody, I am not related to anybody, Three Stooges wise, but obviously I play Curly. I'm a big Three Stooges fan, and Curly G is the youngest grandson of Curly Howard of Three Stooges. For those of you who don't know, we bring on Chemp's family quite a bit, and we're friends with Larry's great grandson, Kurt Lamont, who runs Shop Knuckleheads, who we absolutely adore. And we gotta start getting to Mo's family. I know everybody wants to connect with them, and so do we. So Hudson Train Guy, Hudson, are you in the Hudson Valley? Because that's where I am right now, Hudson. Thank you very much. So Curly G says, I love you guys. And Curly G, because I miss him so much. Curly G, I got my mug. I forgot I actually had one here. I didn't know which one to use because I brought both Curly G and a Brighto mug. And our Brighto mug, for those of you guys that have been watching, is completely broken in California, which we'll be getting back to. I'm flying back there next week. If all works out, we'll be together. Brad and I will be together Thursday night, and we'll be slapping each other for our own amusement and your amusement as well. So let's get stooging, everybody. So, one thing that's happened, I come straight to New York from LA, and hi, other me. Oh my goodness, we have so many regulars on. Roger, Rick, Justine. I'm coming back. I'll be back Monday. I actually got a job, and I'm definitely going to be working Thursday, but I'm going to try to rush back after work. And Curly G is going to meet up with me. At least that's the plan. And we'll be back together again, and hopefully be on our regular schedule. Poke yourself in the eyes. Oh, who you asking that for? With these two? Oh. So let's see. Where are we? Let's see. I'm great. Yeah, everybody, say hi to Curly G. He's doing great. We miss you, Brad. We talk every day, pretty much. So I fly right in, and I'm waiting for my mom's surgery, and my pop and I got a hotel room across the street in New York City. So luckily, what I had brought with me is a stack of the Three Stooges journals, and I've been reading like crazy. And I got so many ideas and so many thoughts, and I've been prepping for the first 3 episodes of the podcast that Brad and I are planning with Schwartzy. That's hopefully coming out soon. It's a rewatch podcast, so we're going to be talking about all the Columbia shorts in order. And then we might go back and probably do, the other things. Ron's Vintage Electronics. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. Read him. Greeting card 27. Hold on. Greetings, little shut-in. Don't you weep or sigh. If you're not out by Christmas, you'll be out by the 4th of July, which I also believe was in Laurel and Hardy movie. Oh, why can't I think of it? Where the French guy wants to duel Oliver Hardy. I can't believe I can't think of the name of the movie. Curly, we're on. NG5. Thank you so much. I got DJ. Got a question for you. Who could do the best impression of Shemp's BBB sound he always made? And Curly G. You mean out of us? Out of my group? Brad could do his laugh. Curly G does his laugh. Dermick does probably the best EBBB. I've been practicing, but Dermick's really got it down pretty good. I'm working on it. And we're trying to get Chandler. We're trying to get Chandler to do it. She says when we hit 1 million views that she's going to do an EBB for. So we got, 1 million followers. So that could be quite a ways away. But hey, keep liking and commenting, guys, and that might happen sooner or later. Oh, Kenny Wagner. My eyes. I can't see. My eyes are closed. So, oh man, so many. Everybody's jumping on. I love you guys are starting to know each other. You like my bird? Oh, thank you. It's a crow. It's a moida. Flying Deuces is a Laurel and Hardy movie. No, it's not. I'm sorry, Agent J. Not for that one. It's a short, and it's one of the earlier shorts. I cannot believe it's been a long day. Otherwise, I would remember this. I cannot believe I can't think of it. But they're card salesmen. Three Stooges basically took the whole short and redid it and used almost the exact same cards even. Greeting from Wheatfield, New York. 10 minutes from Niagara Falls. Look, we got to do the Niagara Falls bit. Right? Don't you guys? We need to see We need to see Curly G get beat up by that Niagara Falls bit. It's not Oliver the Eighth. Man, somebody look it up. Laurel and Hardy card salesman. It's not their first mistake. Their purple moment. Oh no, that's a silent. It's gonna drive me nuts. But there's actually a lot. Three Stooges and Laurel and Hardy. There's a lot of kind of connections there. Obviously, for those who know Charlie Chase, famous from the Laurel and Hardy film Sons of the Desert, came up with, or at least I believe it was him who was directing the Stooges, and came up with the B.A. Biggie Bye song because it's from his family. So we got Charlie Chase to thank for that. So for those of you who don't know, Sons of the Desert, the Laurel and Hardy, the Fixer Uppers, Ron, you nailed it. I think. I think you nailed it. I think that might be it. Yeah, is it the Fixer Uppers? I think you might be right. So I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up for sure, but I'm gonna trust Ron on it because I think he's absolutely right. Mrs. Frankenstein says it too. Yeah, check out the Fixer Uppers, Laurel and Hardy. It's great stuff. Also, the Three Stooges remade the Laurel and Hardy murder case, and they even had the same chief of police actor in both. I can't remember the name of the Stooge films. Well, you guys are testing my knowledge tonight. I got so much Stooge stuff on my mind, I can't remember everything, but we're going to get it all down. So anyway, Three Stooges Journal. When I was sitting in a hotel room, there was time I couldn't visit my mom. I was reading through these. For those of you who don't know about the Three Stooges Journal, this has been going on since the 70s, and since Mo and Larry gave their blessings to have a Three Stooges fan club. And they've been running this magazine, from what I understand, every 3 months for the past 50 years, right? Has to be. And it's fantastic, and it's filled with stuff. And I've been reading, it's filled with so many lately unproduced scenes and scenes that were shot by the Stooges and cut out. And if you want to read some really fun stuff, subscribe to the Three Stooges fan club, read the journals. Otherwise, I'm going to try to present stuff for you guys. And I like to perform some of these scenes when the boys get together, because I think you guys will get a real kick out of this. So I was looking at, when you guys started, the Joe Besser, one of the Joe Besser covers, because as you know, he was a Stooge. I know he's kind of controversial among you Stooge fans. I happen to find him absolutely hilarious, especially in the Abbott and Costello show. And in Africa Screams, who was also in it with Shemp and Abbott and Costello. And as a Stooge, I didn't really appreciate them as a kid at all. When I saw Joe Besser come on, I was not happy. Shemp I liked. He was a good substitute for Curly, especially because, you know, they'd run 4 Curlies and 1 Shemp, and I was okay with that ratio because Shemp was very funny. I've since grown to, as most of you guys have, to absolutely adore Shemp. And Joe Besser, Joe Besser, man, he's really funny. He's a good Stooge. And I think I think he gets a bad rep partially because the quality of the shorts in those days, they also just weren't as good, right? They would shoot some of them in like a day or a day and a half, as opposed to when they were doing them with Curly, they were 5 days, right? 4 or 5 days. So Music Man, Shemp is my favorite. I get it. Shemp is, he's unsurpassed as a comedian, especially in his own right. Watching Shemp on outside of the Stooges too, he was a brilliant character actor, and he really had a lot to offer. And Shemp's hilarious. Anyway, yesterday was the anniversary of our Stooge Joe Besser passing away in 1988. It was March 1st, 1988. I believe that's right. So a little tribute to him. We posted a little video yesterday. So we want to just say love. Everybody love little Joe Besser. Can we do our little impressions? Not so hard. I can't do it. I'm going to work on it, though. Andy, what up? Hello, everybody. So I'm here, and I'm waiting for my mom. She's at a hospital. We get a snowstorm, and I'm caught in upstate New York, kind of by myself. So I start going through the house. Now, last time I was here, I did a whole, kind of Stooge show and tell of stuff I had Stooge wise. And there was one thing I had forgotten, and it wasn't a big deal because we had talked about the beer before, but I was really upset that I hadn't talked about the beer because I had this one box and I kind of just wanted to show it and talk about it. Then I'm like, wait a minute. There's other. Where are the cards I had? Wait, where are the beer bottles I had? Wait, where's that little set? So I started thinking, I'm like, there's Stooge stuff missing right now. I've been moving since my parents moved out of my childhood home. They have bounced around 2, 3 houses. I've moved like 10 different places. Things get lost, things get misplaced, things get thrown out, not by me. But it's hard to hold on to stuff over a period of 35, 40 years, right? But I've managed, and I want to show you some really stuff. Stop! I'll give you a pinch, such a pinch. Thanks, Ron. Yeah, I just watch him. He's so different. Look, if you don't expect Joe Besser to be curly or Shemp, he's funny. He's funny, and some of those shorts are good. In fact, I think it was his first one, A Merry Mix-Up, was also a remake of a Laurel and Hardy film, one of their longer ones, Our Relations, and it was the same screenwriter. And they're both, Our Relations, for those of you who haven't seen Laurel and Hardy's Our Relations, is a brilliant film. Merry Mix-Up is very funny, where it's 3 sets of Three Stooges. And, in those days, I also think that Larry started taking on a bigger and bigger role, and he just keeps getting funnier and funnier and funnier to me. And there's one, I was thinking a lot about this since yesterday, and it kind of gave me an idea too, because there's a lot of kind of bad information out there about the Stooges, kind of a lot of myths, some of it because of that, Mel Gibson produced movie that came out a couple years ago, and we all kind of started taking things as truths. And there's just a lot of myths and misconceptions, partially because the boys themselves, like Moe's autobiography, I don't know if it's absolutely super accurate. Larry's original biography, Stroke of Luck, I don't think there's really been the perfect, definitive Three Stooges biography, which I've been thinking Brad and I should start working on. Let me know what you guys think. Hey, from Wisconsin, I got some cheese. Thank you, Hellcat 607. What do you guys think about Brad and I, Curly G and I, working on a book about the Stooges? Because I think there's a hole here. And then I think by far the Steve Cox book on Larry Fine, One Fine Stooge is so well researched, and it's taken like from so much material, including like Larry's own memoirs and stuff. It's so good. It's probably my favorite book on the Stooges, but there's a lot of holes in terms of the other boys, and it's funny that Larry's the one who's got 3 books on him, specifically dedicated to him. There's no Shemp books. There's only one on Curly. Mo wrote his autobiography, but and I guess it's kind of the last of the Mo haircuts, but that just uses his title. It's not specifically about Mo. So anyway, thinking about books, we gotta. I think we gotta start working on one. Ron's Vintage Electronics. Thank you. There is a Curly shirt where Curly mentions Moishi Pipik, the only time they refer to being Jewish. I don't know if that's the only time. I cannot find the title for the life of me. Any idea? Okay, I don't know. We're going to look that up. Hey, guys, look up Ron's Vintage Electronics. Somebody out here's got to know. What's the context that he says that? Jessica, hey, Andy, may God bless you and your family. Brad, I miss you on live. Thank you, Jessica. Did Larry ever get a CG Ants? I'm not sure what that means. Need a Shemp book. Yeah, we do, Angie. Yes, we want to do a book. Larry had a bigger role during the Besser shorts. Right. Yes, that's right, Chris. Mel Gibson makes great movies. He sure does. He's a fantastic director. Jamie's here. Roger. So anyway, I started scrounging through my house in the anticipation of wanting to do a Stooge Talk this week. I know you guys have missed it. I've gotten so many messages, so many DMs. I know Brad's getting a ton. And we miss it too. And I think it's become a great hangout session. And so I wanted to see what I came up with. And I found my personal little treasure trove of Three Stooges stuff I wanted to share with you guys. So we'll go back. The first thing, and I'm not. Oh, the other man, I think you like my bird, and I just knocked him off. We'll put him over here. So I'm not really going to go over the stuff I went over last time. If you guys want to see all the other treasures that I found in New York, it's in one of the Stooge Talks live. It's, I believe, one where I interview not only Brad, Curly G, but his brother Darren. And it's the first time he's joined us. And I had to do it on his cell phone because we were trying this new feature where you could bring somebody into the live. And of course, it didn't work. We tried like 3 times and kept cutting us off. So I literally had to interview him holding the phone up to the screen. But before and after that, I went through a bunch of Three Stooges stuff I had. This is the one. So I'm not going to go through that stuff. But this is the one thing I didn't. I was upset that I didn't do because it's a case of beer. It's a case of the Three Stooges beer. And I remember when this came out, and I never drank beer, and I was so excited. And I just love the packaging so much. I know it's classic, but the Panther Brewer company, and we all put the yeast in, which still makes me laugh. And so I kept this, and everybody's like, get rid of that. And I'm like, no, I couldn't. And here was, hold on, Music Man asked a question. Thank you, Music Man. Are you a fan of Stop, Look, and Laugh? Yeah, it's great. Was it Jerry Mahoney? So for those of you who don't know, Stop, Look, and Laugh came out in the 60s. And it's a compilation that Columbia Pictures put out where they took a bunch of the shorts and they kind of sewed them together with, I want to say it was the Jerry Mahoney ventriloquist puppet, and who kind of connected the interstitials. And it was because the Three Stooges had just come out with, they were with Dorita at the time. I think they had just come out with Three Stooges Meet Hercules, maybe, and it was a real big success. Maybe it was Three Stooges in Orbit. It was one of those. And so Columbia wanted to capitalize not only on the movies, but on the success of the TV that the Three Stooges were doing. So they put a feature in, and Mo sued them because he said, you guys don't have the rights to do this. And that the Stooges weren't getting residuals when the stuff went on TV. SAG changed that rule, but it goes back to after the Three Stooges had made their shorts. So they weren't getting any residuals, and Columbia was making a fortune hand over fist. So they put out this feature. Three Stooges sued them and won. And rightfully so. And they still able to put it out. And, it's like Three Stooges canon, man. It belongs out there. Christine Collins, thank you so much for supporting the channel. This is killing me. All that beer and I'm not there. Curly G. Listen, you don't want to drink this. And it's all gone anyway. So let's see. Why don't you go back to some known Stooge film locations and reshoot sequences, of course, in black and white? Doug, we're definitely going to go back to some of those locations. For sure. Reshoot them in black and white? We got mixed feelings about that. We could talk about that. Brian Powell, Joe Besser deserves this spot as a Stooges. Yeah, he was. He was a Stooge. So here we go. All right. So the first, I don't know how to do all this. So the first thing is they came out with the Stooge beer, and then they came out with Curly's Light, and I just was so excited that Curly Howard had his own beer. Oh, can you see Curly G doing this? I feel like that's somebody's head that's Curly's head on somebody else's body, but there it is. So I kept that because I love it. And then inside, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 6-packs. Of course, they're all gone. There's some bottle caps on top of some of them. Right, I kept the bottle caps on these. But I don't know. I would love to. I don't have room in this house. I'm in a very, very tiny house. I don't have room to display all this stuff. One day, I'll figure it out. But I'm going to have to put some of these out. As you guys know, in California, I display as much as I can. Oh, look. Both of these. I got 2 of the same ones. We might have to do a little giveaway here to some of our fans. Hey, leave me alone. Put me back. And then these are all. Oh, so I got 1 Curly Light bottle here. Oh, and the rest are all. feel like I kept every bottle that I drank. I'm not sure. You want a bottle cap? Roger, you deserve a bottle cap. We got to go about figuring that out. Now, if you guys remember, when Curly G and I were playing the game, I ruined one of the bottle caps because I used them as stickers. And I was like, oh no, I only have 3 bottle caps. I know I had a bunch. And on there, so there's only 4 there, and 2 of them are duplicates, right? And I'm like, well, I know I have bottle caps. Okay, where am I going to find my bottle caps? Because I never would have gotten rid of them. And lo and behold, I started going, okay, where's my most valuable stuff? So I went to look for the stuff that I had from my grandfather, like his chain, stuff like that. And I found the bottle caps. I kept it with my grandfather's watch and my grandfather's chain. Sue, thank you for doing live. Ever consider videoing Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, where the Howards were born and lived? Yes, I'll talk to you about that in a second. Wake up and go to sleep. Miss you too, Alfred. Thank you. I'm so glad to be back. And I can't wait to be back with Curly G and smacking each other for you guys. When I was in New York and we were waiting for my mom, I started making a list. And I found where Shemp was born. And I found where Mo was born. And I found where Curly went to school with the help of other Stooge fans online. I found in the Stooge journals where they had the houses that they bought when they went into real estate, when Mo was kind of giving up going into show business. And I talked to my dad and I said, hey, Dad, while we're out here waiting for Mom, I think we should go check this stuff out. And it was like a Thursday and a Friday. He was all for it. And my mom was all for us going. But I couldn't leave her long enough. It was much farther. We were in the Bronx, and that's all down in Brooklyn and Bensonhurst area and Brooklyn Bridge area. And it was pretty far. And I didn't want to, I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to leave to go do it. So I started making a list of all the locations, and I want to make a list of some more. And I want to go up to their house again, in their farmhouse, which is about an hour from me. I know where it is. I found it. I don't know the address, but I could find it again. And Brad and I talked about if we could figure out whatever our budget would be to come out here and do it together, because we really want to go down and visit all these locations, drive out to Larry's in Philadelphia. There's also a Tombstone out in New Jersey with somebody had the Three Stooges carved on, and just do a entire New York tour. So it is on the list. Thank you for the question. Jimmy, as always, you're absolutely amazing. Huge fan. Thank you so much for the support. Oh, and Curly G is still here. I'm surprised. They'd be sleeping. Oh, no, wait a minute. I'm later than you guys. Oh, Skunk Boss RC. I shoot an arrow into the air. Where it lands, I don't care. I got my arrows wholesale. Thank you, Skunk Boss RC. So hope that answers the question. You got both 6-packs bottles. Yeah, they're great. Clearly, I think I only have 2. So I only have 2 Curly Light bottles left. And I think I have 1 in LA in our collection. I don't know what happened to the others. It's not like me to get rid of anything, but things get taken from me and misplaced. Anyway, I found my little treasures of Three Stooges, and these are from 1965, and these are the Three Stooges bubblegum packs. And I got this. I was a kid, and I remember spending $8 for this, going to the Three Stooges convention outside of Philadelphia, and I bought this for $8. And then I went back and I bought these 2. I actually bought 3 of these, and I was really hard up for money one time, and I had to sell one of these packs, and I was devastated by it, and I sold it for a lot of money. It was like $80 or something. I don't know what they're worth today, but I've had these since I was a little kid. And so here we go. These were like one of my first treasures. I felt, even though it was at $8, I felt like I struck gold, because it was stuff like this was in the 80s was impossible to find. I don't know how many of you guys have these. I don't even have the cards that are in them. I know they're Curly G cards or Curly Joe cards, and they're black and white. I don't have a set of them. I've barely ever seen them. I'd love to have a set so we could show them with you guys and talk about them. But we'll get it. We'll get there. You guys, if you keep watching, keep liking, we'll get there. Now this is something I wanted to show you guys because I didn't have last time, and I was like driving me nuts. I was wondering why it wasn't up on my shelf, and I bought this again. I was also I was a kid, and the Dungeons and Dragons was big, and they had all these little pewter figures, and I came across this. Look at this. Three-headed monster, and it's the Three Stooges. Wait, and I don't know. I can't remember if it was official or not. 1983. Yeah, and I remember like saving up my allowance money. I was a little kid, and I bought that, and it was $12 if I remember correctly, which I think I do. And I've kept that the whole time, and I absolutely love it. And now that I found it again, it's going on my shelf. These are the buttons that I had. I don't know if you guys know how old you guys are, but buttons were huge in the 80s. And I used to go down to Spencer's Gifts and the little shops in the mall, and they would have all these buttons. And the Stooges were hugely popular in the 80s. And there was a ton of these. Oh no, this one got scratched up really bad. And I only ever got a little handful. I got one more that I'll show you guys. And I never got like kind of a whole set of them. And I look at them now and I'm like, I love the colors. I love how bright they are, happy they are. You have both those buttons, Drifter 67? Yeah, and how about this one? I used to wear these on my jean jacket everywhere I went, right? This is for Curly G and his family. There's supposedly a checkbook cover on eBay that belongs to Shemp's wife. If it's legit, it should go back to your family. I know what you're talking about. And I sent that to Chandler because that should go to her family, right? Chandler is Shemp's great-granddaughter. I may have sent it to Sandy too, which is his granddaughter. But I know what you're talking about. I got to look that up again. There's some stuff that Shemp's wife, we talked about this when in one of the painting videos that we did. Shemp's wife, after he passed away, she was a little bit of a gambler and needed some money, and she sold a lot of things that we really wish she didn't sell. The Stooges even may appear in the game Final Fantasy VI. Where, Kenny? Tell us more. Brad, Curly J, are you there? You got a question. William Kugler says, Curly grandson, you are maternal grandson, correct? Did your mom ever live in MD? Is that Maryland? Her name is Maryland, right, Brad? You made a lot on the gum packs. The highest I saw was $35 on eBay. This was, years ago when eBay just started. So I think I might have been one of the first ones up there. I don't regret selling it, but I like having it even though I have duplicates. So I don't know where my Larry went on these, but these were magnets. And I remember loving the Larry one, especially because I think the sculpts on these are so good. They got really beat up, and the magnets fell off the back. But I used to keep these on my fridge, and anytime, especially when I saw such great sculpts of the boys. Let's see, do I fit right in? Hold on, let's see. See if I make them the same size as my head. Yeah, I gotta get them. This was a mirror I also got when I was super, super young. I think I showed you guys a different mirror. I had gotten two. This is one. And I always thought it was weird because they had beards in it, right? And, it's, of course, it goes with the short, but it's weird that they make merchandise where the Stooges actually are not in their normal clean shaven faces. But this says 1982, and I probably got it right about that time, too. I was a little kid. I collected this stuff. There's two more buttons. One, I believe, I was told anyway, I got was really old, right? The signatures. And then this, I'm not sure when this was. It was probably about the same time that I got the others. And this is just absolute classic Three Stooges, black and white, simple, hilarious. No. I don't know. Curly makes those faces. Brad could do it. And then the bottle caps. I was so excited to finally find the bottle caps. I was kind of obsessed with these when they first started coming out with them because they're pictures you don't see very often. Oh, look, I found another button. I'm going to show. Oh, of course. I used to wear a hat just like this because of this. And I wear the hat with this button on my jacket. So here's Curly Light bottle caps. This is a duplicate. This is a good one from Curly Light. Can you guys see it? It's very shiny. Oh, probably from I Want My Mummy, if I believe, right? Here's one that just says Panther Brewing Company, and this is probably off the Curly Light one. It's classic. I love that. Poke Andy in the eye. And we got some Mo's. So we got some duplicates here. Look at it, Mo. Why do they just make me laugh? Just looking at their faces. Larry kind of especially. He was such a gem. Look at this. Look, this is the same face, just from a different angle. I want to see the original pictures these were taken from. Alfred, thank you. Would you do a paranormal session at their graves or filming locations and you have seen a ghost or have weird phenomenal stories? No, that stuff scares me. I don't like that stuff. I would have nothing to do with that. But it's an interesting question. I mean, I'll go. We'll go visit the graves. And Brad and I have been talking. We definitely want to go see where the other boys are buried around town. And go to their houses, go to the filming locations. We're planning on that. I've been working on putting a list together of locations to go visit because I know you guys, we want to go for ourselves, and I know you guys really want to see it. For those of you who don't live out there, and you know, it's amazing how much I've lived out there since 2007, and so many of those places I haven't gone, or I was right there and had no idea Three Stooges were walking on the same hallowed ground that I was. Is there a Shemp one? No, there's no Shemp one, not even one, which is sad. But we got a lot of Curly. Of course, here's Angry Curly. Oh, here's Angry Mo. These guys picked the right pictures. Whoever made the beer was clearly not just looking for money. They were fans. Right? They knew how to pick these things. They knew what the fans would like because clearly I think you just tell the attention to detail and how much love went into this based on the pictures they took and how they designed these and the packaging. They know the Stooges. They knew them really well. And here's just like, it's great to see Curly just smiley. It's almost like you get a glimpse of, in this one, who he was off camera, right? Which we don't really see too much. And then we've showed this before, but here is again a character. Again. So these are the last. So I got some duplicates. Maybe we gotta do a little giveaway and send some to you guys because you know the whole goal as a channel is to share the Stooges. So those are bottle caps. Those are almost all my little treasures. Now I also got this when I was a real little kid, and it's a stamp. I used to stamp this on all my schoolwork and in my books. And you can see they carved in. I don't know who did this. I had a Laurel and Hardy one too. And you put a little ink on it and boop. So I still got a lot of papers with the Three Stooges stamp on it. I don't think this was mass produced. Somebody made this at home or whatever and sold it at flea market or wherever they did. But I got a lot of love out of that, and I might bring that to LA and use it. And so, oh, Brian X, my 11-year-old loved the Stooges. We watch over lunch. That's great. The Stooges are so generational. I think so many people found the Stooges because of their father or grandfather or mother or whoever um, introduced them. I mean, that's how I came into it for sure. And I hear that story so many times. I watched this with my grandfather. I watched this with my dad. It's the only thing we laugh at, whatever. It's amazing how many people um, come together because of the Stooges and generationally. My brother had a movie poster of the Three Stooges goes around the world in a daze. Great poster. Well, there's a couple great posters of those. I just saw one. Trent Reeve is posting on eBay for those of you guys who are looking for some stuff. If I could, I would buy this in a heartbeat. And it's a illustrated one for Three Stooges in orbit, and it's the Three Stooges from behind, and it's this like gorgeous 1960s graphic. Check it out on eBay. I think it's out right there right now. I love when Shim kills a hot dog and then cries. It's funny. Yeah, Roger. Hey, Andy, would you use that stamp on Brad's forehead? I will. I'm gonna bring it. All right, Roger. I'm gonna bring it to LA. Brad, you're brave to talk about your wife's cooking. Yeah, where's Brad? Is that what he's talking about? Oh, he's still on. Thank goodness. Brad, you causing trouble there? Is Brad causing trouble in the comments? To me, the Three Stooges are a lifesaver that gets me out of depression. I hear that so many times. I get it. Yeah, I get it. I mean, like I said, my mom, who was in the hospital waiting for this operation, was watching the Three Stooges probably for the first time in her life. Any word on Dermick? I think he's sleeping right now. He's still over there. He's supposed to be shooting some stuff for us. He brought his Mo stuff. Yeah, we hear from him a lot, and we miss him. I tried to get him to FaceTime me earlier, but he couldn't do it. He didn't have time. So hopefully tomorrow or next week. So now, this was also, I was a little kid, and $12 was so much money to me. And I tried to get this guy to drop the price, and this was in Wappingers Falls, New York. I would go out to this antique store, and he had this ring, this curly flicker ring, and it was like, this is one of the really first expensive things I bought for like $12. It was also because it's so old, right, from 1959, and there it is. And I had this ring, and I actually, when I was a junior high, I tried to give it to a girl. I was like, I'm going to give you my ring because I really had a crush on her. And she laughed at me because it was a curly ring. And so she gave it back to me, thinking I was joking, or maybe just awkwardly trying not to hurt my feelings. But I'm glad she gave it back because this is one of my oldest and most prized possessions. It sounds like Shim had a lot of phobias and wondered if he suffered from anxiety because I find him so relatable. I think he could relate to Curly. So Shemp was definitely, did he have some phobias? He did not drive. He drove his car into a barber shop. And I guess in those days in the barber shop, they would have these mugs and everybody kind of had their own with their name on it. So when you come in, they'd make your own. And he drove his car accidentally into this barber shop, right through the window, smashed and destroyed the whole shop and all the ceramic mugs, and he wouldn't drive after that. Peter, yeah, of course I dumped her. Charlene, Peter, it's amazing the condition you keep these items in. Yeah, I've tried my best. Now things have gotten a little destroyed and ruined along the way, and lost and thrown out, not by me, but I've tried my best to keep it. And I found some stuff that was actually really means a lot to me. This is one of them. This is also my grandfather who introduced me to Stooges gave this to me. And this is, I'll never get rid of this. This is a keychain and it's really beat. I used to carry this absolutely everywhere I went with me, even after he died, or especially after he died, I guess. And at some point I was afraid to lose it. So I retired it and put it out on my shelf and I'll never get rid of that. And I showed the last time I was home and I did this one alone, I showed the 2 mugs I had. And I was looking at this stuff while I was home. And it just really brought back so many memories of like the best, you guys must feel this way. The best time of my life is sitting down with somebody you love and watching the Three Stooges and just laughing together. Right. And we would give each other sweatshirts and keychains and all this stuff. It was our special thing. So yeah, I get home and my wife bought me a book. And I had never gotten this book before, and I couldn't believe it. I was so excited. She found it for $3. And here's what's interesting in it. From 1988, and it's To Daddy. From one stooge to another, love Sean XOXO. And look at that. It was exactly what I was saying. I saw that the first thing I thought of, at first I was like, somebody wrote in it. But I was like, no, that's the history of the Stooges. Father and son, grandfather and grandson, grandmother and daughter, or granddaughter. Like, they bring people together. So I haven't read it. I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna take this on the plane. I'm gonna read it. I know I started glancing at it and already, like I was talking before, there's so much misinformation. There's so much Stooge mythology out there that I think we got to start doing some episodes of Stooge Talk, like debunking the Stooge mythology. Yeah, I remember the book too, Drifter 67. I used to go to Walden Books in the mall every anytime I went down there. They had this book. They had Mo Howard and the Three Stooges, which was his autobiography. They had the Three Stooges scrapbook, and on occasion, Larry the Stooge in the Middle, written by Larry's brother. And I also believe that was kind of filled with a lot of kind of fake stories. So we still got a lot. I can't believe it. We've been going on a long time now, and we still got a lot to talk about. We guys still want to keep going? Is this really Curly Howard's grandson? Last chance. No, I am not. I'm Andy P. The guy below you who's actually typing Curly's grandson is Curly's grandson. That's Brad Server. He's the youngest grandson of Curly Howard of Three Stooges. So say hello to them. Usually he's here with me and we're smacking each other. but he's on and he's chatting with you guys. And this is his channel that we built together to kind of celebrate him and celebrate the Stooge family and legacy. So say hello. And it really is. His mother is Curly's first daughter. And we're going to be interviewing her soon, right, Brad? Brad, we wanted to put a picture up. We didn't get a chance to do that yet. But I know Brad was talking to his mom the other day, and she says hi to everybody. So, hey, Andy, tell me something. There's a small pistol behind you on the shelf. Oh. So this is a horse pistol. I raised it since it was a colt. There's no story to it. This was a prop in a movie I used in college about a guy who thought he was Captain Hook, who kidnaps a girl who he thought was Peter Pan. Oh, I just dropped Charlie McCarthy. I hope I didn't break him. See, precarious. Things get broken. So, this was also from the childhood Three Stooges stickers, which I refused to open. It was more important to me to keep these things sealed. I don't know why, but I liked it in the packaging, and I kept this the whole time. Part of me thinks I should open them, stick it on a notebook now. What do you guys think? The great. Now, for those of you who talk about Shemp, Joe, and Joe Besser, I found this. This is not too old. I got this a couple years ago at the last Three Stooges convention in Philadelphia in 2017. And they were still making Three Stooges trading cards. And in fact, I believe if you go to Shop Knuckleheads, run by Larry's great grandson, Kurt, they still sell these cards. And this was promotional, right? Because before this, you really didn't see much with the boys. I mean, Curly Joe, I guess you saw a lot of stuff, but definitely not Shemp and Joe Besser. And there it is. So this is a promotional card that they were giving away. So I wanted to share that with you guys because I know we're getting a lot of requests for us to play Shemp and Joe Besser and Curly Joe. And I'm not that talented yet. I don't know how to do that. So we're looking for people to help us. We'll get there sooner than later. I found some pictures that I thought you guys would find amusing. The first time I drove across country, I drove from New York to Albuquerque. So I didn't go quite that far to California, but I went pretty close. And I brought the Spumco Larry Fine doll. And I found a couple pictures. I don't know why I did this, but I would stop and take pictures of Larry at all the welcome to the new state. This was my little joke. And I shot them all across the country, put them in different places, different locations. And I happen to find a couple of these pictures. I'm going to find more and I'll post them in the comments or in the community. But I just thought you guys would get a kick out of that. It's just Larry traveling across country, Larry Puppet. So I found a couple other things. This goes back to when I was in junior high school, and there was this magazine they printed called Aurora, and they asked me to do a cover, and it was for poetry, right? It was for poetry from that the students wrote, and they wanted to be published, and they would give it out. So it's kind of really poorly photocopied, so it's kind of hard to read. Like back in the day, the technology wasn't great. They were like, "Hey, would you do a cover?" I was like, "Yeah, for poetry." Yeah, sure. Now it's hard to see, and I kept this whole time. But I drew Aurora, and it was "Get Lost in Poetry," and it was the Three Stooges, kind of inspired by the Nintendo Three Stooges characters, I think. And it says, "Now where are the like where the heck are we?" Right? And so this was this was my cover of the poetry magazine, and they printed it, and I kept that. Thought that was fun. So I found these pictures of last time I was here. I showed off the black and white Three Stooges statues, and I found a picture of me the day I got them. Look at that, and you could see I got Larry and Mo, and Curly hadn't come out yet, or at least I wasn't able to get him yet. He was really hard to get. Those are the Esco statues, and I only just got the Three Stooges after all these years by one of our fans. You can see the Three Stooges are up in his homemade wooden thing. But anyway, this is in my nightshirt because I would wear a nightshirt because the Three Stooges wore nightshirts. And here's another picture. You can see me in high school, and this is what I would wear to high school. And I got a Three Stooges tie and Three Stooges suspenders on. What do you think of that? With a gestures hat. And then I just saw this, and I didn't even remember this poster. I must have been really, really young. And you could see the Three Stooges calendar. This is my room. Now, this is my friend Mikey Sager, who I would play Laurel and Hardy with. And there's my back. That was a Three Stooges sweater that my grandfather gave me and had my name custom made on. You can see the calendar on the wall and the Three Stooges poster. I still have this calendar, but I don't have the poster. But I have all these dolls, Laurel and Hardy, Marx Brothers, Charlie McCarthy. I still have them upstairs. And then here's a picture of me and my Uncle Joey. But if you look at it, okay, that hat, I was in love with. That was my like costume or my trademark. And here's that hat. I still have it. And then I started going, where's the shirt? There's no way I got rid of that shirt. So I started digging. And I found it. I found the shirt, and it barely fits. But there it is. I used to wear this. This was my trademark outfit. And it feels so good. It's like heavy, thick material. I got this at the Three Stooges convention, just like the hat. I have it. Look. So my dad, who was busting my chops for spending too much money, look how long this has lasted me. I was so excited to find this shirt. I'll never get rid of that. Kept that. The cat's kind of beat up. I think it just like kind of inside it deteriorates over time. And the back is pretty messed up. But and then I found a picture. Oh no. You can see me wearing it. My Indiana Jones bag. Oh man, I thought I had a picture. Here's another one. This was me painting a mural in Wayne, New Jersey. And the guy who owned it was a huge comedians fan and loved all the comedians. He said, I want you to paint a mural in my entire restaurant. So when he closed, I would go down at night and I would paint. And I painted all the characters. Three Stooges, Laurel and Hardy, Marx Brothers, Abbott and Costello, Charlie Chaplin, Jerry Lewis, W.C. Fields, Harold Lloyd. And so here I found a picture of me working on it. You don't see the Stooges in this particular section, but I got my Mo Nose Mo Nose t-shirt on, and I can't find this t-shirt. I'm really mad. Mo Nose eye poking and face slapping and I can't read them. Pie throwing, etc. Fun stuff. I'm gonna put on my classic hat. I know it's pretty fun. Botchagaloops, his name, and the name of the restaurant was Botchagaloops, which was a takeoff on Mr. Botchagaloop from the Abbott and Costello show. Sorry. So that's, oh, and I found this. This is going to be hard to see, but this is from the Three Stooges convention. I can't figure out the year. I got to look at one of the other things from 1987 or 1989. It's really hard to see, but they must have had this display of the Three Stooges and, you know, the film in those days and the cameras in those days are hard to see. And I know I got a couple other pictures I'm trying to find from the convention. But for those of you who went there or haven't even, I guess, here's the Three Stooges display with mannequins and masks that they had. I thought that was fun. And then at that convention, I picked up some stuff. I picked up the hat, I picked up the t-shirt, and I picked up some cards. The first time I picked up these, right? This is where I got this in this package. And I picked up, I think I've showed some of these before. Must have gotten a bunch of these. The Sitka, right? There's Harold Bauer. And it says he is one of Hollywood's most recognizable character actors. As a heavy role, born in Brooklyn, he was a childhood friend of the Howard brothers, Moe, Champ, and Curly. Later became famous as members of Ted Healy and the Stooges, and ultimately the Three Stooges. He had fond and funny memories of the boys, particularly his younger Howard brother Curly, known to his family friends as Babe. He was in Three Lone Wolves, Fright Night, Sing a Song of Sixpence, Squareheads at a Round Table, Fueling Around, Rip, Sew, and Stitch, Flinging a Ring, Hot Stuff, Quiz Whiz, The Outlaws is Coming, and the new Three Stooges cartoons. I don't remember meeting them. I literally, I don't remember met him or not. I remember Mousy Gardner, Suzanne Karen, right? And you are going to recognize it from Disorder in the Court and What's the Matador, right? Paul Howard, Moe's son, who I believe doesn't live too far from here. And then the first of my 1959 Three Stooges cards. Now, these are like amongst some of my prized possessions. Every Stooge fan loves these so well, even though they're like cheaply made and printed awkwardly and on three different, types of card stock, gray and tan and white. They got great stuff on the back, great jokes written by Stooge writers, and colored. Curly was, of course, passed away at this point, and they were with Curly Joe, but Curly Joe was no Curly Howard. So you look at like the back of one, like this one, for example, and it's got little jokes on it, and this is Curly and Larry. Hey, how could you stand there and let him hit me? Well, it could be worse. How? He could be hitting me. I think we might have performed some of these. Anyway, I'm going to bring these back to LA. And then Bernie, these were always weird. Somebody drew these. Somebody drew these drawings. I don't know if they sold them or gave them away. I don't quite remember. I feel like they were given away, but it's a weird thing to do. Anyway, that's from the Stooge convention. So I got those. And then I got a complete set. Hold on. This is fun. I got a complete set of other cards that they had at the time. You guys remember these? So I'll just go through these. Now I was gonna start reading the backs of these with you guys, but we're already at an hour, so I think we might have to save that. I'm gonna bring them to LA, and Brad and I could go through the back. There's trivia on the back. right? Look at these cards. We can go through the cards one by one. Talk about the movie, talk about the picture. I got the whole set. They eventually made a second series. These are duplicates. Maybe we do a giveaway. They eventually made a second series, which I got a whole box of, but I don't have an unopened set, which I want to get. And I did find a loose one, and I wanted to read this to you because I don't remember this trivia. But it says, Moe's wife Helen wrote the outline for the classic Stooges comedy Hoi Polloi. Moe's wife Helen wrote the outline for the classic Stooge comedy Hoi Polloi. Did anybody know this? Is this true? As compensation, Columbia offered her two choices. What were they and what did they choose? That's the question. So the two choices is that she chose $50 over screen credit. That's the answer. Is that true? And if that's true, what is wrong with Columbia Pictures? I mean, come on. If she wrote the outline, give it to her. But being a good businesswoman, she took the money. So I don't know how true this stuff is or where they're even getting this information, right? What was the first short that used the name The Three Stooges? Punch Drunks. Yes. Okay. Oh, then it was Howard Fine and Howard, I believe. Ron's Vintage Electronics. You guys should have a pie throwing contest in a show one time. Mo's with throws on short. That would be fun. I bet Brad would win. Yeah, we should do that. We're gonna have to do that. We also want to do. We got the recipe for how the Stooges made their pies, and we're gonna do a demonstration and actually make a pie with you guys. I think for you guys. Wait, hold on. I want to read what you guys are saying here. Somebody said, "Oh, I missed it." Mr. Pagana, yeah, I've gone to the Three Stooges Museum. I have not, Leonardo. I have not gone. Brad's been there. Curly G has been there. I'd love to go. Maybe that's part of the East Coast trip if we could pull that together. Would love to go. And I want to contact with those guys because I want to be able to. I love that there's a fan club, and I want to keep pushing it. And maybe we should do some articles or stuff with them because they're an invaluable resource. And I have some things that they might be interested too because I have some Stooge scripts that belong to Mo that might not be part of the Jules White collection, which is where they're getting a lot of their unproduced script stuff from. Not all of it, but unproduced. So we definitely got to try that. You only have the book of scripts and a fridge magnet. The book of scripts are great. They're both great. They're really funny to read some of the stuff that got taken out. I was sad to hear how Curly died. Yeah, I've talked to Shem's daughter-in-law, and she knew Curly one time, or she had met Curly, and she remembered one time, and he was in a wheelchair, and he was really pretty far along, and it just kind of broke my heart to hear it. One by one, focusing on each photo and each with written content in the back. Yeah, Reedy Creek, Jenner, Jemer, I want to do that. I think we'll do. I was going to do that tonight, but we're already running really long. I got a couple more things I want to show you guys, and then I'll do it with Brad because we'll have some fun talking about it, and we'll end up, I guess, probably breaking it up as we go. So, oh my goodness, have you visited the staircase? We have. We did a live at the staircase. So you guys check the videos. There's a lot of videos I think you guys aren't seeing, judging by the views. There's Brad and I went to the staircase on live with you guys, and he ran up it. I could not do it. We went up and down him. So 2 people have asked that question. Thank you, Sue. Have a good flight back to LA. Please tell us when you get to Bensonhurst. Jackie Gleason really was Chauncey Street in Benson. I know he used his real address. I really, really wanted to go. If I was staying longer, I would have made it. But I think it's probably more fitting that Brad and I make that happen together. Have you seen every Stooge film? As far as I know, I think I have. Yeah, I believe I have. So the Gibson Stooges biopic didn't get some stuff wrong. Yeah, the Stooges biopic got a lot wrong. It makes great drama, but it's not super accurate. Same thing with like the Stan and Ollie movie. For those of you who haven't seen it, I think it's one of the best movies about just the film business in general. It's really not accurate, but it's beautiful regardless. And I think really kind of. I once read somewhere. I was working for Frank Marshall, who his wife now, her wife Kathleen Kennedy, is the head of Lucasfilm for Disney, and he produced all the Indiana Jones movies, The Sixth Sense, The Bourne Identity, and maybe I shouldn't be saying this because it was, I don't know if it's private information, confidential or not, but he had a script out for Alive. He directed the movie Alive about the guys who, the soccer team that crash landed in the Alps and had to walk their way out. And on the top of it, he had written, and I don't know if he came up with it or somebody told him this. It doesn't need to be factually true to be emotionally true, and it always stuck with me. I don't know if I believe it or not, but I think I've thought it to myself at times, and definitely with Stan and Ollie, that definitely applies. And I think maybe in a lot of ways for the Three Stooges biopic, it did. It's like this is not really how it happened, but to give you, you can't and to encompass it into one story. Maybe this is how we want to make you think how it must have felt to them. I don't know. Just throwing it out there. The Stooges money clip. I don't even know where this came from. I don't remember this at all. I don't know if somebody gave this to me or if I bought this, but I love it and I'm going to start using it. This came from my buddy Paul. Now, after my grandmother passed away, she left me very little money. It was a few $100s. And I wanted to do something that I kind of would remember her from. I wanted to get something. When my grandfather passed away, my grandmother bought me the Three Stooges statues, a thing of honeymooners trading card, like stuff that that she probably shouldn't have spent the money on, but I don't know what she was feeling. But it's like I look at those statues, and that's my grandmother and my grandfather. It's like a gift from them. He gave me the Three Stooges, and I think she wanted me to remember that. So when she passed away, I wanted to do something with the money that I would really remember. And I hit up my buddy Paul, who did the Three Stooges biography, and say, "Hey, you got something that I want to kind of remember my grandmother loaned me or left me some money. It's not a lot. It was like $300." And I said, I want one really nice thing, that I'll have for the rest of my life. And he says, "This is what you want." Now, this is not Three Stooges, but it's kind of related. And it's Lou Costello long before Bud Abbott. And it's autographed by Lou Costello, right? Super young in 1930. And it's also autographed also on the back by Lou Costello. And I said, "Yeah, I would love that." And he goes, "I'm going to throw some extra stuff in for you." And he did. And he threw a lot of stuff in there. And one of these days, it's not Abbott and Costello again. It's not mostly Three Stooges. It's Three Stooges and Marx Brothers and Abbott and Costello and Laurel and Hardy and W.C. Fields. And two things were in it. And I kept this all together. This is like a decal of the Stooges. And I'd never seen this before. And it's interesting that they chose to use the silhouettes of the Stooges, but not their, this is when they were kind of dressed as gentlemen. I know they're goofing around as the Stooges, but Larry's hair and Moe's hair are combed back. And then this was a comic book, and it's the original 3D Three Stooges Shem comic book. It's pretty brittle, and it's hard to read. I do have the glasses. It's hard to read without the glasses, of course. But I got these, and these are I think of these as a gift from my grandmother. Oh, hold on, almost done here, guys. Almost done. Oh. So then the last of it. Oh, wait a minute. I thought I had. Oh. Man, there's so much stuff. Here's some cards. Oh, here we go. Again, the Three Stooges for the. Oh, look at this! I found another one. Stuff's everywhere. I mean, how does that not just bring you joy? Look at that. What does it say? "One more rehearsal, I think, will be good enough to play at the Met." And the back says, "The boys rehearsed. but it turned out no one had ever written music for the type of instruments they were playing. They still can't understand why. Joel Harley! Joel, I gotta say, everybody give Joel a big round of applause. I mean, you got the amount of supporters that we have on this channel are amazing. Joel, you are incredible. Thank you so much for all your support. And everybody, even honestly, guys, just watching the channel, liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, that all helps. It just helps keep pushing it out to other Stooge fans so we could keep bringing you stuff. And we appreciate you guys so much. And then this is what is unique about the short woman's haters? Oh, everybody knows this, 1934. This is all dialogue was done in rhyme. So they're all singing. We'll be talking about that soon. Here's some fun. Cards. Three Stooges. This is what always been one of my favorites. And I wish this was on a t-shirt. And inside it says, "Life is a bowl of Larrys." And 2 different people gave me that same card. The same picture, but different card. So many. There's so many. Oh, look. My friends. This is from junior high school, I guess. Let's see. Sweet. Really sweet. And then I found this dollar. Somebody gave this to me. What is that, $1 million bill? And then the last of it. Now we're down to the last of it. Andy, actually, my grandfather gave me a picture of the Three Stooges autographed when he was in USA in 1948. Let's see. We want to see. Can we post it? It's all the Larrys, yeah. Reach for it, Andy. You could do it. Did Joe appear with Shemp in an Abbott and Costello movie? Yes, Jessica. Joe appeared with Shemp in Africa Screams, which you guys need to check out if you haven't seen it. It's been restored, and the restoration is absolutely gorgeous. Lou Costello died 64 years tomorrow. Wow. Very young. So this couldn't have been more excited as a little boy. The Three Stooges 1985 calendar. And this was the first of its kind. Right? And I don't think they ever had a Shemp, at least in the years that I've collected them. But this was one of the greatest things in the world for a little kid like me, that they're still making, or that they started making, Three Stooges calendars. And I believe they started this in 1985, and they have gone every single year since. I haven't gotten them all. At some point, I had to stop buying them. And I kind of regret it. Look at that. Nothing PCs. I gotta scan these. These gotta be high res versions of them. You have some of these too? Look at this. Stooge abuse. The most famous trademark of the Three Stooges was the amount of physical abuse that Moe heaped upon the other two. As realistic as all this violence seemed, it was actually achieved through careful planning, setups, and sound effects. There have been many movements over the years to ban the violence of the Three Stooges for fear that the children would copy the antics of the trio and cause harm to another. It should always be pointed out to the younger generations that the Stooges were acting and not really hurting one another. They should be recommended not to attempt any of these antics. The following is a list of some of the Three Stooges' most familiar routines and how they were performed. Here we go. Hand-to-hand head clunking. Moe would get one of the Stooges to slap his fist, which would set his arm in circular motion, winding up with the fist on the Stooge's skull. When the abused Stooge would try the same thing on Moe, it would invariably backfire, and he would wind himself clunking himself. Oh, okay. Hand-to-hand head clunking. Okay. Facial slapping. All slaps on the face, which include the backhand slap, the forehand slap, and the double cheek slap, which is very funny, were performed with the sound effects of a slapstick and a method of slapping that Moe perfected. With his open hand, Moe was able to slap without causing any physical pain. That's what they say. We get hit a lot, and I don't know. I mean, I know it's not Moe Howard hitting us, but you're still getting smacked. Double or triple slap. The double slap was achieved when Moe would slap 2 other Stooge faces at the same time in one fast, continuous motion. The triple slap was when a third party would slap all the Three Stooges' faces at the same time. Again, it was sound effects which accentuated the painless slap. Yeah, I've always said the sound effects were always the fourth Stooge because without them, you see stuff without the sound effects, and it's just like it misses. No tweaking. Mo would take his index finger, place it under one of the Stooges' noses, and give it a good tweak. This was also accompanied by sound effects, which made it seem more painful than it actually was. Poking in the eyes, another method that Mo perfected. There's poking in the eyes of one of the Stooges with his two fingers. He would just poke them just above the eyes, which was accomplished by the sound effect of a ukulele or violin string plucking. And you see in a lot of the early ones, there was no sound effect. It's weird, and it's weird to watch. You miss it. Chain reaction punching. Mo would set up one of the Stooges to rest his chin on his fist and his elbow on his kneecap and raise his foot. This is always a weird one, right? You guys know this one? Then Mo would kick the foot, setting up a chain reaction with the Stooge would punch himself. I've always wondered, like, that we got to practice that one, Brad. The Curly J, you still on there? We need to figure that out because we haven't done that one yet. So that's 85. Here's 86. So they just kept doing this. I only have 4 of these. I definitely had them more than 4 in a row. These are great shots. Curly G, have you been on the Warner lot? We got to get Curly G on the Warner lot. I don't know if he has been. Classic, right? Burn and Dent. You know that song is getting ruined. Classic. Eating with the dogs. Much to you. Oh. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. Three Stooges trivia quiz on that one. And then 1989. Wait a minute. There's 87 and 88. Oh, wow. Look at this. Look at how young Mo is. That's the back. We'll go back in order. I only got one more. These stuff got taken from me and thrown out. I would never get rid of these. You think you had one from 2004? Yeah, they've been going every year. Any Stooge coloring books. Roger, I never got one. Andy, please post a visit to the soundstage with Brad. I promise. If I didn't have to come home, it would have been up already. I've been working on it. For those of you who don't know, we went to where during COVID, during the pandemic, we went to where the Three Stooges shot on the Columbia lot, which is now Sunset Gower Studios. And I shot it. I recorded it. And it was the first time I saw Brad get emotional. And we just recorded. You know, we didn't know if we were going to do it for anybody. We just kind of did it. I did it for us. But we definitely have to share it with you guys. So, now, Annie, you said you found the Three Stooges coffee in California? Where? You found it in a store? Oh, no, Larry, eh? That's a great picture. We got to recreate some of these. Andy, have you seen any sound stages where they made the sound effects for radio programs? No, I have not, actually. There's specific ones you're referring to? So 1996. This is me much later, and I'm still buying the Three Stooges calendar. I think this was probably, I stopped using calendars. I was like, I'm getting this one for old time's sake. Because they, throughout my life, continued to make me laugh. Just looking at them. Oh, that's in the movie. Yeah, great. This is one of my favorites. The Wrong Brothers. Joe Shrubich and Cacao. But they were, I gotta tell you, not only were their movies great, they knew how to do a publicity photo. I mean, they really knew how to ham it up. Microphonies. Oh. Well, that's it, kids. That's all I got, I think. Oh, last thing. I may have showed this last time. Here's my Stein. I wanted to show it again because I got this at the Three Stooges convention. I was super excited because I love the artwork on it. It says it's a limited edition to 500, although it's number 124331. So doesn't make sense to me. It's copyright 1984. I did get this at this Three Stooges convention. I remember spending probably more money than my dad wanted me to on this. I've kept it all these years. I don't think I've ever drank out of it, and I should. I think maybe tonight's the night. I'm gonna have to go fill it with something. I just always loved it. I don't know much more about it. Bill Markowski. Oh, by so Joe Strubiston Kakao. That's it. That's all I got. I was home and playing Three Stooges, and really just wanted to jump back in with you guys. So we'll take any last minute questions and we'll take out of here. Your favorite was Disorder in the Court, Stephanie? Yeah, it's. I hate to list that as my favorite too, but it kind of is. You know, it's so funny. It's definitely top 10. Thank you, Roger. You like my place? Thank you, Matt. Good night, Sue. Thank you for joining us. So I know we've been kind of slow to upload stuff, obviously. What's the worst Stooge short? Oh, that's a question for another time. We got to talk about that. I don't know. But a lot of people would say cuckoo on a choo-choo, but there's something so wacky about it. I can't even consider it the worst. Oh, thanks, Anthony. Hope you guys had a good time. We really wanted to get back to it. I'm so sorry Curly G wasn't here. We love you guys. We'll get back to LA. We'll get the Stooge fans seeing some more stuff. I promise you guys. We got some more little shorts that we put up that we shot before Dermot left town. He's still going to shoot some stuff for us. We're trying to get him to join us electronically. We got the Stooge podcast that we're working on coming up soon. We got a preview for a show we've been working on a very long time. It's coming up. In fact, go to Andy Makes Movies. It's a YouTube channel. It's my other channel where we talk about movies and stuff like that. When we get 1,000 followers on there, we're going to kind of release it over on that side to start. So come join us over on there a little bit. I'd like to get back to the paintings. You guys seem to really like to do the Stooge paintings on Friday nights. I think it's a great way to hang out. I'm going to try to find another way to do it so it's maybe not on big canvases and we could kind of maybe gift them out to people or however get them to you guys. So I know we like to hang out and do the Stooge drawings on Friday nights. If you guys want to do that, you're interested, it seems like you are, let's get back to that. We'll do some of that stuff too. And whatever else you want, leave comments. Find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We're all over the places. You guys know. You know where to find us. You know how to get a hold of us. Thank you, Joel, for my mom. She sent her love. I wanted her to come in and say hi, but she was sleeping by the time we started this. And we're going to go to more film sites. I promise you, Leandro. We're going to hug see you guys. Wake up and go to sleep. Keeping our legacy alive. Thank you for listening to the podcast. 2 pokes and a slap out. Good night, everybody. We love you, and we'll see you next week if all works out. Be safe and keep stooging.